Hello, this is Meet the Problem Solvers. I'm Judy Perlman, your host for Meet the Problem Solvers. And today we have two guests and we're talking about something very seasonal. As we roll our way into December, we're looking at the holidays and we are, of course, looking at giving and helping those people who live with us, live among us, and don't have quite enough to do around the holidays. So I'm going to introduce my guests and we're going to get right into it. Corey McGrath is a firefighter with the Cambridge Fire Department. He's been a firefighter for 2 years. Adam Patten works for the Cambridge Police Department as its Strategic Partnerships Coordinator. And the two of them work very hard on what they're doing all year round, but they're also both pretty involved in the specific gift drives that their organizations are doing this year. So let's dive right in and hear a little bit about it. Corey, why don't you come on in and tell us about what the fire department's doing?
Sure. So within the fire department, we participate in a program called Toys-For-Tots. Now, this program was founded in 1947 by the United States Marine Corps reservists, and it basically provides toys for children around the city that, whose parents can't really provide them a gift during the holidays. Now, we've got involved in this program 20 years ago, and we're still going strong. And every day someone comes to the firehouse with a new toy, and it's nonstop all December.
So that's really nice. So people are coming with unwrapped toys, right?
Unwrapped
That's
toys,
always the
that's
big
right.
thing. And they just can come to any one of the firehouses?
Any firehouse within the city, and you just come in the door. We have an open door policy. You are more than welcome to come in, have a cup of coffee with us. We'll take your toy, we'll pass it on, and hopefully you'll get it to a nice child.
Nice. Or not a nice child, but
not
a
a
child.
nice child,
right.
but regardless.
A child who could hopefully have a great time with
That's
it.
right.
And I guess the idea is really to package up all of these gifts and in one fell swoop get them to the distribution
That's
point.
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's great. So, okay, let's hold that. So that's Toys-For-Tots, that's the kids' part. And Adam, you're here to talk about something else. Why don't you lay it on us?
Sure, so that's the Secret Santa for Seniors program at the Cambridge Police Department. That program has been going, I think it's the 13th year now. With this comes from the realization, about 13 years ago that there are a number of seniors living in Cambridge, between 400 and 500 who don't have immediate family in the area, don't really have someone visiting them or bringing them any gifts for the holiday season. And that's a very lonely situation for them. So some of our officers, especially Sergeant Susan Kale at the time, started this initiative by reaching out to community partners to make donations so that we could put together gift bags for all of these folks on Christmas Eve morning.
So that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
the police then gather up a bunch of goods, like actual things that they're going to give to seniors, and tell us a little bit more about specifically how it gets from.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have some really terrific community partners like Pro Ambulance, Phil's Towing, the Housing Authority, Cambridge Side, who make monetary donations, as well as the two police officers' unions, which is terrific. That helps us get a lot of kind of basic stuff. And then we have a number of other businesses, some of the biotechs, Mount Auburn Hospital, MIT, who do internal drives with their staff. And also, like at Mount Auburn, folks who are coming in from the public can bring in, unwrapped items and put them there, and then we pick up from these collection boxes the week before Christmas and use all of that stuff to pack these the bags. We get the names from the Housing Authority as they look at the tenants in their buildings and check with their social workers as to who's most in need, and that's how we know who we're giving to. And then on Christmas Eve morning, we have help from the Reservoir Church as well as just other folks in the community.
Wow.
And we deliver these.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I mean, in both cases, you are doing a lot of really wonderful things for people who wouldn't have enough festivity, but you really have a lot of community partnerships involved
Yeah,
in it.
absolutely.
All the way. Yeah, that's really nice. And so you said like people get bags, they're
Yeah.
sort of,
Oh, yeah. They're great.
somebody rings their doorbell
Yep,
and
someone's
says,
ringing your doorbell, and it's
Yeah.
usually a like one of those nice big reusable shopping bags from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, and we pack them pretty much
Yeah,
with as much
that's
stuff
great.
as we can get in there. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, so that's really a nice thing. It's a really nice thing. I think it's probably nice for the firefighters and for the police officers,
Yeah.
as well as your community partners, to kind of take a look at this. Anything interesting about how either of these initiatives has evolved over the last few years?
Sure. So, in our case, anyways, the City of Cambridge has onboarded multiple local community organizations. Draper Labs got in on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Cambridge Side Galleria is in on it. Mount Auburn Hospital's in on it. So basically, all these different facilities signed up for Toys for Tots. They have the drop locations, and they're in on it with us. Now, when the deadline hits, they'll basically bring us all the toys, and then we'll bring them to the nonprofit organizations, and they'll go from there.
Nice. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, I would say similarly, kind of.
You've
from what-
grown more partners.
Yeah,
and
more, it seems
yeah.
to be word of mouth that it gets around a bit within certainly the biotech community. I've seen some of this. I've gotten some emails this year from folks who said, we heard about this program that you're doing. We wanted to contribute to that to our office this year. Could we, become a partner? Sure. So it seems like we grow with a few probably each year. So it's just kind of organically growing a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It allows us
Yeah.
to give a few more things out.
So why don't we take a minute and you guys can each talk about if somebody who's watching this or listening to this is moved to make a donation, what should they do and where should they bring it and stuff like that. Why don't you go first, Corey, since Adam is having a little bit of a...
my thing over here.
I'm going to do this for you?
Oh, God, yeah.
There you
Judy,
go.
I think you're going to have to fix it.
Okay,
for me.
just
Yeah.
have a minute. Is this
Technical
You're
difficulties?
stepping, move your
that's
chair
the
a little,
problem.
move your
See,
chair a
I'm moving
little.
my chair. Oh, yeah. There we go, there
Okay,
we go.
see, this is live
See, I'm
TV,
too
guys.
I'm fidgety, too fidgety for live TV.
Too fidgety for live TV.
right.
There,
Thank
there
you.
we go.
Thank
All
you,
right. All right, now we get ourselves situated and we go back to asking Corey.
Yep.
Tell somebody who's interested in being part of this what they should do and when and stuff like that.
Sure. So if you are feeling overly excited for this holiday season and you want to do something in the community, you can go to the store, pick up a toy, bring it to any fire station in the city, and we'll be happy to take it from you and get it to where it needs to go. Now, there is a deadline. It's going to be this Thursday, the 12th, I believe it is. And that's kind of when we cut it, just so we have enough time to get them to the nonprofits and that they can get the
Yeah.
toys out to the children in the city.
Great, very nice. And I will just piggyback on what you said, because I've done a lot of these drives. The easiest thing is if you bring the gift unwrapped, because really the firefighters need to make sure that what they think is in there is what it is. If you also want to bring gift wrap, that's always a lovely thing to sort of throw along in there. And of course, Corey keeps talking about bringing one toy. I got to tell you, there are a lot of families and a lot of organizations that will come in with like huge amounts. So feel free to do one, feel free to do more.
We always have boxes to fill.
Yeah, I'm sure you have some big boxes.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
All right, Adam, take your turn in the now that your mic is working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So our deadline is next Wednesday, December 18th. The end of the day, 5 o'clock. The public locations where you can come drop off a gift are City Hall, the Cambridge Police Department, the Cambridge Public Health Department, which is at 119 Windsor Street, in the basement of the Public Health, or of the Windsor Street Clinic, and the main library over on Broadway. So those are 4 public locations where folks can drop them off.
Okay, so with toys for kids, we kind of understand what it is. What kinds of things do you guys want donated for the police drive?
So we have, so mostly what we're looking for are sort of like food, snack items, tins of cookies, coffee, tea, any kind of local sports gear, anything of a New England team. Whether that's like a scarf or a cap or a knit cap or anything like that. So we have a flyer that's posted on the police department website. There's actually info both on the Toys-For-Tots Drive and our drive because we try to promote them together.
Nice.
So you can find that through the Cambridge Police website. And I believe usually this information is on the City of Cambridge website at cambridgema.gov. If you search through that, you should be able to find info.
And so the stuff that you guys really are hoping to get out to seniors are like little nice treats.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gloves, blankets,
right.
kind of winter items too, hats.
Socks.
Yeah,
gloves,
exactly. Yep,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
is terrific.
very nice. Okay. Good. All right. Well, but before the end of the show, we'll circle back and we'll make sure you all know how to be generous, how to do the thing. Let's just say this is Meet the Problem Solvers. I'm Judy Perlman. Corey McGrath is here representing the Cambridge Fire Department. Adam Patten is here from the Cambridge Police Department. Before the show, we started talking about what else we wanted to talk about. And I think one of the things that we really were interested in was what are some of the ways, not just through a specialized gift drive, but what are some of the ways that both of the organizations really kind of interface with people in the city, people of all ages, people of all different ways. So why don't you sort of throw this one to you, Adam, a little bit.
Sure. Well, I could give a lot of credit to folks at the Cambridge Police Department who about 10 years ago started I believe what was called the Community Relations Unit at the time, which has now recently been renamed the Family and Social Justice Section, which really does a lot of youth outreach. We have youth resource officers connected to just about every school who are involved in also after-school programs, connecting kids at the youth centers. We have outreach officers who work on issues around homelessness, mental health, seniors. What I guess was traditionally called a narcotics unit, does a lot of work now actually with folks trying to get into recovery with substance abuse issues, including having a social worker in that department who helps to find folks availability for rehab centers when folks want to get into rehab. So I think we have a lot of officers who are out there trying to connect to vulnerable populations, build relationships, and be able to connect folks to services, and providing, almost a social things that are very similar to the framework of social work, but within a police context.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys had both talked about sort of the mayor's summer youth program, and so maybe why don't you tell us a little bit about how the fire department has worked with youth in the summertime?
Sure. So one of the main programs we do in the summertime is for high school students, ages freshman year to senior year, 13 to 18, and it's basically a firefighter youth academy, and it's through the mayor's office, like you said, and basically they'll come out. We'll have a mini academy for them. We have instructors, certified instructors that come out, and they teach them how to use the pump. They have them climb the ladders. They teach them, medical CPR, stuff like that. And it's an all-around good time. And it's all in an effort to promote interest within the fire department and the police department in that matter as well. And the city wants local kids to work in the city department.
Yeah.
And this is a huge stepping stone in that.
Yeah, I mean, I love that idea also that they're coming as part of their summer sort of like a job.
Right.
And they're being paid to learn these skills and, emulate what you folks are doing,
And
the men and women in uniform.
Right. And
Yeah.
if they decide to go a different path, they still have these skills that can be helpful in whatever career path they choose to pursue.
That's really cool. And didn't you say that sometimes that you've actually had some kids come back
Yes,
more than
there's
1
actually
year?
quite a few that returning students, and that's a good sign. I mean, the program's
Yeah.
fairly new, but to have returning students come back,
Yeah.
it does show that there is a lot of interest in it.
That's really cool. And you guys have a version of that over at the police department too, Adam?
Yep. Youth Police Academy, very similar to the Youth Fire Academy, but based on police skills. Actually, this year the two academies did a joint graduation, so I think they're trying to move towards even more coordination. And then this year, the police department brought back for the first time in, I want to say it was like 30 years, this Cadet Program, which actually goes for young people 18 to 23 are able to basically get full-time jobs that function more like internships with the police department for 2 years which teach them, kind of a variety of policing skills and give them the opportunity to then move onto the police force, providing that they pass the police exam. And so we had 6 cadets brought in this year, sort of the first class, like I said, in about 30 years, and are looking to expand upon that now for the next year and then coming years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So if somebody watching this is interested in that, either the summer youth program for the younger kids or the cadets, how would they, I guess there's the internet. You go on the internet, you go to the Cambridge Police Department, you go cadet,
Yeah.
and there you are, okay.
Yeah, you also, anybody would be welcome to reach out to me, Adam Patten at the police department. My phone number there is 617-349-9354. Anybody could call me. I'm happy to connect them to the right
I'm going
person.
to call you right now. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And anything that you know about how kids get into that program?
Because this is through the mayor's office, the mayor at City Hall, there's usually flyers set up, and there will be kind of representatives that reach out and kind of promote it as well.
Nice.
And they will go to the schools and, kind of take volunteers and kind of do it that way.
And kind of boost,
Right. Word
do
of
some
mouth
outreach.
and whatnot, right.
Yeah. It's interesting because in the work that I've done for many years in homelessness, we often kind of lump you guys together into public safety.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense. In some ways, your role and your interface is similar with folks on the street or whatever. But we were talking also about the firehouses. Tell us a little bit about how you guys interface with.
So the firehouses in our city, at least, have an open door policy. You can come and knock on it. We'll let you in. We'll give you a tour. We'll let you sit in the pump. We'll, show you around. But a lot of times we have school visits. All the local schools will come with their, grades from kindergarten all the way up. And it's a great way for the kids to get used to us. We'll show them our gear, and this is a huge one for us because in the case of an actual fire, sometimes our gear scares children. So
Yeah, that makes
to
a
have
lot of
them come in and see us and see who's actually behind the mask
Right.
is a huge thing.
Oh,
for them.
right. If you had a big gas mask on,
That's
that
right.
would be really
And-
scary. Yeah.
And it just
It's like, come with me, child.
Right, and-
No, because you look like a scary
you could be a
super.
monster.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So it's just another
That's really wise.
process
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
kind of use to help get into the community.
Yeah. And you were talking about how you have a dog bowl out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
our particular station, Engine 5, most of them do, but ours is it's probably the cleanest in the city.
Of course.
Of course.
But no competition.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, we keep it out there for the dogs. We're a huge dog community, so we like to keep them well hydrated.
Nice.
Yeah, my
And
dog has personally benefited from this dog
there
bowl.
you
It's
go.
great. I also appreciate it. I think one of the bowls got run over, and so it was gone for like a few days, and then a newer, I feel like sturdier
Stronger.
bowl had shown up in its
right.
place that
right.
seems indestructible. And so, yeah.
wow, despite your best efforts, stomping on it.
No, you got to have water for the dog.
Gotta have water for the dogs, yeah.
That's,
Of course.
absolutely.
And I'm more a cat person, but don't dogs sort of know, oh, we're going to go there and there's going to be a dog bowl?
Oh, yeah.
And they're they're ready,
he's
right?
looking for
They're
it,
all
yeah.
psyched,
You
yeah.
can always see them starting from the corner. The tails
Like,
are going 90 miles
Right.
an hour, and they're getting excited.
Do you have Dalmatians?
Not anymore, no. That tradition has kind of trickled out.
Why were Dalmatians a thing? I guess.
So, Dalmatians...
Oh, do you actually have an answer?
Yeah, you want to know?
I actually want to know, please.
Okay, so back in the day, which was a Wednesday, I didn't know if you knew that.
Okay,
It is a
thank you.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So there used to be horses that pulled our pumps.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they picked a Dalmatian, but the Dalmatians used to be good leading dogs, and they would lead the horses to the fire.
That makes
I knew
sense.
that.
Right.
You didn't know that,
I
Adam?
did not know that.
I did not
This
know
is
that.
great.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can I use that?
Of course.
Yeah, I will credit you.
Sure.
Yeah, but anyone watching this now has this cool story.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you do have a Dalmatian, feel free to bring them by, and,
Yeah.
and we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't test them out. Yeah.
So we're working with kids, we're working with cadets. So I'm curious, did the cadets, were they recruited from within the Cambridge population?
Yeah, you have to be a Cambridge resident to be eligible for this. And it was interesting, there were some of these young folks who had participated in our Youth Police Academy and gotten connected to us that way. I think was a way that they started to get to know the police department. There's others who I think have made connections over the years, again, through officers being involved in a lot of youth activities. We have a number of officers who coach basketball teams in
nice.
the city. One of the officers is an assistant coach for the football team at the high school. They just, there's a lot of ways that our officers are out there forming relationships with a lot of young people, and so it gives them a sense that this is a potential career path for them. That's really where we got most of the folks coming in, was a connection to some officer or more than one officer that they knew.
So I will just say, earlier in this series, we had Deputy Superintendent Rob Lowe and Judge Roanne Srago who came on, and we talked about compassionate policing with purpose and results. And some of what they were talking about of these initiatives around youth diversion and just like that, what I think he said that youth arrests had fallen by 70 or 80% over a 5-year period. It's really
dramatic.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think the Cambridge Police Department really has a number of initiatives and programs that are pretty extraordinary in comparison to what's out there with the rest of the country in policing, that is really trying to minimize young people's connection to the criminal justice system and really trying to help connect a lot of folks in vulnerable populations to services and care. Services
and care rather than punishment and incarceration. Yeah. Very interesting. And we were talking about something else also about kind of alternative stuff. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about how basically the fire response has gone from less about house fires and more to other things. And before we talk about that, I just want to say, we're going to take 2 minutes to talk about that because then we want to reprise our drive.
Sure.
This is Meet the Problem Solvers. Corey McGrath from the fire department, Adam Patten from the police department, both Cambridge departments who are engaged in active gift drives. The fire department is working on Toys-For-Tots. Police department is working on gifts for seniors. So we will circle back and let you know how to get involved with that. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about how sort of firefighting has morphed.
Sure. So
really interesting.
Right around 2001, 9/11 attacks, it was very kind of high fire activity. And since then, it's kind of transitioned into almost like a medical career field. And now most of our department are EMTs, paramedics, everyone's a first responder. And it just kind of goes to show that the department is kind of adapting to what the community needs, and that, a lot of it is medical. So I'd say, probably half of our calls, maybe more, could be medicals.
Really interesting. So in both cases, you're sort of morphing to be solving the problems that are the emerging problems, not saying like, no, we do fires, so we're going to do fires and good luck with the rest of that stuff.
Right.
Or,
got to do the work that's out there, right?
Got to do the work that's out there and get the better results. Yeah, that's really interesting. All right, we're going to reprise our gift drive, but this has been a really fun conversation. Is there anything else you kind of want to share about your own journey getting to be here, or anything else about the work that you do every day?
Sure. I mean, this was one of my lifelong goals, is to become a firefighter. And unfortunately, the city I grew up in didn't have a youth program. So, again, I know we talked about it earlier, that's a huge program for the children. And if it was in my city, maybe I would have gone on a lot sooner. I didn't get on until I was 27. So, maybe I could have started my career a few years earlier, maybe not, I don't know, but it definitely would have helped.
Interesting, yeah. How about you, Adam?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I've just worked in the police department for about 2 years. I don't have really a police background, sort of a civilian employee there. And I think that the department has been incredibly welcoming and has really grown these roles in the last decade. We've increased now, there's 2 social workers on the staff, and I believe we're looking to hire a 3rd. We now have a clinical psychologist for youth who's full-time on the staff, came over from the Cambridge Health Alliance. So I think that the sort of move by policing into a lot of this other type of work, the sort of service work and the care work, really brings in the ability for folks with other backgrounds to come to work in police departments, to build these partnerships within the department as well as outside the department. So.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. And every time I've talked to somebody doing public safety in Cambridge, it makes me feel really proud. Makes me feel really happy that, you know, we have high taxes and they're being used thoughtfully and wisely and with intention and with the right outcomes. So that's super cool. So let us now reprise our information about our drives.
Yes.
Would you like to kick us off here, Adam?
Sure. So the Secret Santa for Seniors program is ongoing. Your public drop-off locations are City Hall, the main library on Broadway, the Cambridge Police Department, which is at 125 6th Street in East Cambridge, for folks who don't know, and the Cambridge Public Health Department, located in the basement of the Windsor Street Health Center at 119 Windsor Street. And bring hats, gloves, scarves, slippers, any kind of snack, cookie, dessert things, new items, unwrapped, any kind of local Boston, New England sports team, hats, gloves.
That's a big winner, huh?
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
always big winners. So
Yeah.
those are the things, bring them, and you have until next Wednesday, December 18th, the end of the day, about 5 o'clock to get those items in. So thank you.
Great. Corey, take it out. Take it away.
I'll take it home.
Take it home. Bring us
So
on.
the Toys for Tots program, we have a few more days for it. It stops Thursday the 12th. And if you are feeling jolly this holiday season, you can come to any fire station in the city. There's 8 of them. So headquarters would probably be your best bet. They have the most boxes, but any firehouse will work. And you can also use some of our partners, if you will. Cambridge Side Galleria has drop boxes, and Draper Labs has drop boxes. And, you know, if you are in the store and you see, I don't know, a toy that you think your child would like, the chances are there's about 1 million more that would like that same present. So grab a few of them, bring them on down. You know, we'll give you praise and thank you. We'll give you a cup of coffee, and we'll feed your dog some water.
Nice. And again, those gifts should be unwrapped.
Unwrapped,
If you
yes.
bring them wrapped, they will have to unwrap them. So,
Right.
yeah. Well, this has been really fun. Thank you guys very much. I hope that your drives are really successful and
Thank
that
you.
they are massively expanded as a result of your coming on Meet the Problem Solvers.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's
We
really fun.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having us.
Thank you. And happy holidays to all.